Hello everybody, my name is Waltogator and welcome back to Donkey Kong Country for the Super Nintendo. Last time we played Donkey Kong Country and now we're going to play more Donkey Kong Country. As I have mentioned before, and I will probably continue to mention, this is one of my favourite games of all time. Easily in the top 10. I adore this game. I mean, I love platform games in general. I think that's my genre of choice. So you'll probably see a fair few of those on this channel. Certainly, retro ones. I play a lot of retro games. I'm not much of a modern gamer, so to speak. And generally, if I'm being honest, I only really play Nintendo stuff. I had a period of my life where I had to have I had everything, and I tried to buy as many games as possible, but I never fucking played them. I just keep playing this. Just keep playing Donkey Kong Country. I've got an Xbox One and I've got a PS4. But when the Switch came out, I just found that was all I played. What is going on? Weird monkey physics. Yeah, it's all I play now. Like, I play stupid amounts of Pokemon, Sword and Shield, which I still stand by are the best Pokemon games. Fight me. Yeah, there's stuff wrong with them, but there's stuff wrong with all of them. But I'm still playing Animal Crossing. Played it every day since it came out. Still enjoying it. It's just a nice chill time. Thoroughly enjoyed the Mario 3D All-Stars. I know technically they're N64, GameCube and Wii games. Though I started Galaxy. And wasn't really enjoying it. Which is weird because I loved it, obviously, when it came out. Like, I fucking adored that game. It's amazing. I mean, it's still amazing. I don't know what it was about it. It might have been the fact that, because I played 64 and beat it, and then the same day started Sunshine, and then beat Sunshine like the weekend it came out. And I was like, right, I'll start Galaxy. And maybe I was a bit Mario fatigued. But I feel like, I mean, Galaxy does loads of stuff right, but I think the biggest thing it does wrong is it treats itself like a sandbox Mario game. Like Sunshine and 64 and stuff. But it's more like an old school, it's more like a 2D Mario, like a linear Mario, where you just go through the levels. But because you have to repeat the same bits of numerous levels several times, I don't know, I think it kind of grates on me. It's not the same as Sunshine and 64, where it's like, yeah, you keep repeating the same level over and over again. But you find new ways of getting around, you know, you find shortcuts and stuff. And in Sunshine, like, the levels drastically change. I say drastically. But the levels change between shines, so that should have got me them. So it feels more, it doesn't feel as repetitive, so to speak. But yeah, Galaxy, I feel like it doesn't quite have that. And although it, you know, you don't have as many stars to get in one level as you do in like 64 or Sunshine, but there are more levels, and I don't know, it didn't click with me. But I will give it another whirl at some point, because I love most of the things about it. It just, yeah, I think it was probably more to do with Mario fatigue, but of the three, if you'd have asked me before the collection came out, of the three I'd have said Sunshine was the weakest, but now I think Galaxy might be the weakest. And I know people were moaning about that collection, though, like, I mean, the only valid criticism I find is the limited time availability. I get it for a physical release. I do not get it for a digital download. But Nintendo's gonna Nintendo, you know. But yeah, and they were like, oh, it's not... Where are all the extras? Where's all the like bonus material and stuff? It's like, if I buy a collection and I spend most of my... I mean, you know, like art galleries and interviews and all that kind of stuff are, you know, they're nice and everything. But surely the value of a collection like that is how old are the games playing? And from my experience, I mean, I know people go deep into frame rates and resolutions and blah 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 and yada 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 and compare it, but I was like, I'm gonna play it. Does it feel like how it felt when I was a kid? And the answer was yes. So I feel like, well, that's succeeded there. The games are fantastic, so that's surely all you really base the value on. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it was maybe a bit expensive, but you got 3 of the best games of all time. I don't know. Like I say, I'm fairly easy to please. Am I? Fucking armadillo came out of nowhere and I bounced off him. Am I part of the problem? I don't know. I think the big problem with that game, and it's not even the game's fault, was that it kind of got leaked, didn't it? There was some twat who was basically like, oh, didn't wait. Who was like, yeah, they're going to completely remake the 3D Mario games. Like Mario All-Stars. And so everyone got fucking hyped. Because, you know, people listen to leaks like they're gospel. It's like they're usually rumours. It's like usually someone has just heard something. And so then when they weren't remade, which they don't need remaking, they still play perfectly fine. Graphics don't mean shit. You know, at the end of the day. But yeah, it's people's expectations were too high. And that actually seems to be... I've noticed a lot... The criticisms of games these days, I sound like such an old man. But the criticisms that people seem to face is that not of the game itself, but it's actually their expectations are too high. And I feel as though the latest Pokemon game, Sword and Shield, fell victim to that. I mean, people have criticised it, and a lot of them are valid. You know, there are problems with Sword and Shield, you know. Exit and all that kind of shit. But people were expecting Breath of the Wild. The Breath of the Wild of Pokemon games. Because, you know, we had Breath of the Wild, and then we had Super Mario Odyssey. So people, I think their expectations were super high. But the thing is that people need to realise is games like Breath of the Wild and Odyssey are the exception, not the norm. So, you know. But again, I thoroughly enjoyed them. And like I say, I think the 3D All-Stars fell victim to that as well. You know, people thought it was going to be a full-blown remakes of 3 classic games, and they didn't get that, and then they were angry. They were butthurt, basically. Sorry, we're having some coffee. Entitlement is generally the word I would use. Now, I mean, it is fair for people to say, you know, people say things are flat out bad when they're not, because it wasn't what they wanted. If they say, "Oh, I'm not gonna pick up 3D All Stars because, you know, they're just ports or emulated ports of the games. You know, I've got the originals, I'll still play them or whatever. I'm not bothered about it. If they were remakes, I would buy it. You know, that's fair. You know, that's like a comparison. You know, but for people to say, "Oh, this game is terrible," because it's like, no, the game is fine. There's some business practices and stuff which are a bit shitty. You know, the timed exclusivity is the like I say, for physical, I get it. Yeah, we're only doing a limited print of it, and then when they're gone, they're gone. But to pull the download seems weird. But that, but you never know. There's speculation and stuff that they're going to sell the game separately. But then I don't know. Seems a bit weird. Ooh. Anyway, Donkey Kong Country. This is an absolute. I've barely spoken about this game. I used this game because, like I say, I fucked up there. I love this game so much. I kind of go a bit muscle memory. You know when you have that game that you just kind of, it just clicks with you, and you just gel with it, and you're just having a good time. That's this game for me. Oh, there's a secret there. I'm gonna get it because I'm just too fucking good, yo. But yeah, I've not been talking about it because I'm in the zone of it. Fuck. Not saying that I'm great at this game, but I'm fairly decent at it. I think, I would say, maybe. You tell me. Am I doing good? Are you proud of me, Daddy? But I would really love... I'd like a new DKC game. That would be nice. What I would really, really like, though, for it to be released on Switch, I don't even want Rare Replay, though that would be fantastic, because that was an awesome collection. So many classics. So, a lot of shit in there as well. There's a lot of like the Spectrum stuff. Not that they're shit games, but like there are some NES games that I feel haven't stood the test of time. There's probably some SNES games as well, but I feel like the Super Nintendo is the greatest console ever made ever. But like Spectrum games, unless you grew up with them, like my housemate fucking adores. I say he adores it. He doesn't adore it. He knows it's rubbish, but he liked Manic Miner, which was a Spectrum game. But yeah, Rare Replay had a lot of those. There are a lot of NES games on there as well. Most of Rare's output on the NES wasn't fantastic. It was good, the Slalom. But they made a lot of stuff like fucking Beetlejuice. They were a bit of an LJN machine, if I remember correctly, which is kind of funny. But like I said, it wasn't until DKC that Battletoads maybe as well. You could probably argue. I personally don't really like Battletoads. It's a bit too... I like to be challenged, but that game's a bit too tough. What was I saying? Oh, but anyway. But yeah, so... I don't necessarily want Rare Replay, but I would really like the Xbox Live versions of Banjo and Banjo-Tooie to be released. Because Banjo, he's a Nintendo boy, come on. He's a Nintendo guy. Bring him back. This is the level I was on about where I really need to be Donkey, I think. Maybe not. Sorry for the burp, by the way. Yeah, I'd love for that game to come onto the Switch. But you can't have... hiccups! You can't have everything on the Switch, You cannot release everything on it. Calm down, Donkey. You can't have everything. I am kind of hoping though that the next Nintendo console or whatever, it uses the online account and you can play the old games. The games that you've bought on the Switch, you can play on there. Would be nice. Who knows? Who cares? You know? You know, you often hear people saying like, you know, like they don't, like they won't buy things digitally or whatever because, you know, what if they get removed and all that? I won't be able to play this old game or whatever. And it's like, I kind of feel like, I mean, most games that get made now, they're not really, you don't really go back to them. I don't know. There's definitely a nostalgia thing for video games. Fuck. Got stuck on B. Yeah, there's certainly a nostalgia thing for video games. You know, I'm like it. You know, I play Super Nintendo a lot because that Sega Mega Drive. Because they're the consoles I grew up with, and you know, a bit of NES. I was a bit young for the NES. It was like a thing I had, but I didn't really play it that often. Not like the SNES. N64 is where my real nostalgia lies. But you know, if like the next thing comes out and I can't play fucking Mario Odyssey, I'm not going to be that bothered, because presumably there'll be a new Mario that comes out and I'll be playing that. You can only look back so often. Though saying that, if I, you know, I mean, it's not so much playing Sword, Pokemon Sword, but you know, I'll need to at least get my Pokemon off there because I've spent I've been competitively breeding, and not necessarily competitive in the sense that I will use them in a competitive match, but you know, like raising them to be the best that I feel they can be, for everything. Every Pokemon that is in that game. You know. Fuck! I did it again. I was trying to avoid the big man. I swapped a donkey. But I'm hoping there's also that Pokemon Home, which I use, which will hopefully be the app they use for the future, because they've tied it to smartphones, which generally gives it some kind of forward compatibility with updates and stuff. You would think, you would hope. But it is Game Freak and the Pokemon Company, and they are a bit daft, I would say. Remember that Pokemon Unite stream? That was kind of funny. I just died. People were so angry. And again, it was expectations. Everyone got hyped because they were like, we're gonna, you know, they gave it was like the Isle of Armor update. They're basically like, yeah, and tune in next week. We've got another announcement to make. And it was that MOBA game. Is it MOBA? That, like the for Pokemon Unite, which is going to be some smartphone thing. And everyone was pissed because they were like, oh, it's going to be Let's Go Johto or fucking Diamond and Pearl remakes or stuff. It's like, they've got the Isle of Armor coming out. This was at the time, obviously. Crown Tundra's out now. Fuck. And in the same video, they announced a new fucking Pokemon Snap, which is, you know, a game we've been wanting for 20 odd years or whatever. You know, people they set their expectations too high, and then when they just show off some MOBA game, they're not disappointed, which is what they should be. They're angry and they've been lied to and all this kind of shit. And you're like, fuck off. Come on now. Presumably the reason why it's its own stream is because of the contract with the people who make it. I don't fucking know. Don't care. especially considering that, you know, during the time that that video came out, as well as this video and a lot of videos in 2020, you know, there's a fucking pandemic going on. There's more important things to be angry about or upset about. I don't fucking know. It's just... People confuse me, and their priorities are all wrong. You know, I would say this is probably the hardest level in the game, and I should have saved it for the next episode. But I was too busy rambling about people being entitled, certainly in video games. Silly. But I am entitled to a new Donkey Kong Country game. That's what I'm entitled to. I mean, sorry, I'm really concentrating on this level. I think the only thing I genuinely feel like I would like is a new Star Fox. A proper Star Fox, you know, not some gimmicky shit. You know, Zero was really close, but Miyamoto just had to do his fucking stupid. They had to justify the Wii U gamepad, and it didn't work. I couldn't get the hang of it. It wasn't intuitive. It was, you know. And from playing Star Fox 64 for literally, again, that's a bit of a desert island game for me. I got stuck on the ground. It's a desert island game. I could play that on repeat. I love it. Yeah, it just wasn't. It wasn't the same. But you know, they could. I genuinely feel like they could port fucking stuff. I mean, they won't, because it didn't sell or review well. But they could easily port Star Fox Zero, and you could play it with a controller. Because all it is the fucking camera. All the other controls were fucking perfect. It was just the camera angles were stupid. That fish came out of nowhere. I am right at the end. Please don't do me a mischief. I'm sure I'm at the end. Go, go, go! Wow. I don't think I've ever done that level in one fell swoop. If that was even one fell, I'm sure it was. I just kind of zoned out a bit. Oh, stretching. Right. I'm going to leave this episode here and pick up in the next one, which should be the finale, because I'm literally at the end of the game. So thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, feel free to do that usual YouTube stuff of like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, blah blah blah. I hope you have yourselves a very good day, and I shall see you later, Waltogator.